What does 24 hours look like in a trip from Los Angeles to Death Valley? Join me this week as I share my experience. Hi friends! If the view looks a little bit different, it's because Nate and I are on the road. We're heading out to
Death Valley.
So we have a game plan to shoot tonight and watch sunset at Dante's View, and then hopefully catch the first Milky Way of the season at Badwater Basin, then sunrise, and just a couple of our favorite spots in the park, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, I do love to share some of the beautiful places we stay when we're out adventuring, like Ahwahnee in Yosemite or Tree Bones in Big Sur. But it's not always really fun hotels or fun glamping. In fact, we're not even in the Silverado, no truck tent, no trailer. We have a camping spot reserved and a tent in the back of our Prius, but I don't think we're gonna be doing much sleeping. If we're doing it right, we're gonna be up all night. So sometimes we will just pack everything and sleep in the back of the car. That's what we're planning on, and we just wanted to bring you with us for a little behind the scenes on our adventures and how we capture content. So let's go.
Let's do it.
Less than an hour in on our journey, and we have our
First Starbucks.
caffeine. When we are shooting the night sky and gonna be up all night, caffeine kind of from beginning to end is our go-to.
Yes.
Good, bad, or other. And it's only about a 4.5, less than 5 hour drive from Los Angeles to Death Valley.
Yep.
But the park is huge, so depending on where you're going, it can really change how long it's gonna take you to get to your destination.
That's true.
Cheers. Nate does the majority of the driving on our road trips, which means I just get to sit back and enjoy the scenery. Lunch of champions
Something like that.
on the road. It's a travel day, and that means whatever we've got with us or we can find
Some kind of fried meat.
at the local gas station. That's great.
It's got ranch.
While we're driving, we always keep our eyes peeled because you never know what you're gonna see. If it looks like we're stopped in the middle of nowhere, we are, but we found some of the wild burros, and it's always beautiful to see them. I think Nate's gonna try to get some close-up photos and maybe some video. The wild burros you might see in this Death Valley area were brought by explorers during the gold rush, and there is some discrepancy on whether they were abandoned or they escaped, but it is impressive that they have thrived in the harsh environment here. You can see Telescope Peak as we're getting closer to the park. Nate and I try to plan a January Death Valley trip every year because we love seeing the snow-capped peaks. We've been driving for about 4 hours, but where are we?
Death Valley.
We made it! Woo! So now we're officially heading into the park for a fun weekend.
We sure are.
Let's go. We only have 24 hours for this trip, so one of the first things we're doing is heading straight to check in to our campsite. We are all checked in, and I don't know if we'll be staying here tonight or if we'll be shooting all night, but we're ready either way.
We are.
All right.
Welcome to Campsite 82.
The Furnace Creek Campground is located right next to the Visitor Center, and there are 136 sites here. This is a great central camping area. As soon as we get settled in our campsite, we're back on the road again, heading past Golden Canyon and Zabriskie Point for a fun hike that wasn't actually open the last time we visited Death Valley. We're heading to Dante's View. The 13-mile drive is completely paved, but the road is winding and increases in elevation as you go, so sometimes this road closes in the winter due to storms and dangerous weather conditions. Once you reach the top of this drive, you have some of the most incredible Death Valley views from Badwater Basin, the lowest point in North America, to Mount Whitney, our highest peak. Well, Nate, where did we make it to?
Dante's View.
You're already bundled up. I'm gonna throw on a coat because is it a bit chilly?
It is frigid.
The last time we were here, the road was actually closed due to snow. So we're thrilled to be here, but definitely bundling up a little this time of year.
Yeah.
The official Dante's View is located to the north, but there are actually 2 trails, and my personal favorite happens to head south. You get some incredible panoramic views from this spot. If we sound like we're huffing and puffing, it's a little bit chilly, and we've been hiking, but where did we make it?
Dante's View.
Check it out! From this high vantage point, you get great views of the salt flats below. The hike to the south viewpoint is less than 2 miles round trip with about 250 feet in elevation change. And once you're done visiting this spot, you can head back towards the parking area. Now, if you're in a hurry, the views are great from the parking area, but I'm heading north to the official viewpoint to watch sunset. The hike to the northern official Dante viewpoint is the more popular of the two hikes, and it's also under 2 miles round trip with about 200 feet in elevation change. It's not difficult to see why many consider Dante's view to be one of Death Valley's best sunset spots. Nate's getting a few photos. The parking area is there. We first hiked down to the south viewpoint, and then for sunset, we went up to the northern viewpoint here at Dante's View. So it's been a fun evening, and the hikes are really pretty gentle here. Gravel path, but short and sweet. After the sun has set, on the way back to the parking area, but of course, we had to stop to get some photos of these beautiful pink skies and snow-capped peaks. We enjoyed the last glimmer of daylight before setting up our cameras for some astrophotography this evening at Dante's View. I pulled out my iPhone first and captured these quick shots as Nate set up the Canon camera for the evening. Okay, so it is pretty darn dark, but there's Nate, got the GoPro, the Canon going. It was a little bit of a mad dash because of course when the sun sets here, it gets dark really quickly, but now we are set up and we're gonna see if we can catch some stars. So I'll share that with you next if we get any here tonight at Dante's View. Even though the wind started whipping up in the evening, I enjoyed the sunset star laps my Insta360 captured here. And of course the stars our Canon captured. Well, Nate and I are back in the car, and if we look cold, it's because we are freezing. We called a bit of an audible. It looked like the weather was supposed to be pretty calm. We knew it was going to be chilly down at like 36, 37 degrees, but the wind gusts just really started kicking up, and at the high elevations like Dante's View, you just have to know that's a possibility. So instead of just kind of feeling miserable, we enjoyed some of the shots we got, and we're gonna head down the mountain now, and maybe we'll see. We're either gonna grab some dinner or check out a spot a little lower that might not be quite as windy to shoot some more stars.
Sounds good.
Either way, we are grateful for our evening here in Death Valley, yeah?
And for heaters.
And for heaters in the car. Woohoo! So is it crazy to drive from Los Angeles for just a 24-hour trip to shoot the night sky in Death Valley?
Oh, completely.
He's supposed to say no. You know, this was initially his idea. So our first trip to Death Valley was not even 24 hours. It was a day trip. He was like, we can leave in the morning, see a couple of things. We'll go by Badwater Basin, Artist Drive, and then we'll drive home at night. It was August. It was 116 degrees, and I think I said, I never need to visit this park again.
Yeah.
After the trip.
Yeah.
But now we love it, and even 24 hours in the park is definitely worth it.
Absolutely.
Even
What
when
is
it's
this? What is this, like our 10th trip now?
Sure. Something like that. On our drive, we couldn't agree on how many Death Valley trips we've made, but we've enjoyed them all. We made it down the mountain. We just stopped to fill up the tank at Furnace Creek.
Yep.
Yep. That's one thing we do not mess around with in Death Valley. We have plenty of food, plenty of water, and plenty of gas.
Keep your car tank full.
Just in case. But I think we're feeling a little bit better, much warmer now.
Yes.
The wind is not whipping us in the face, and I think we're just probably gonna snack on what we have in the car and look for another spot to maybe shoot and spend the night. We can head back to our campsite if we really get cold and bundle up there.
Yep. Let's do it.
Let's go. In between shooting, supper of champions, Cliff Bar, Pirate Booty, Pine Bar and Epic Salmon Stick gourmet dining.
Yeah, let's feast.
We have had dinner, or some sort of dinner. We've got plenty to eat, plenty of water to stay hydrated, plenty of caffeine. And I think we found a spot that will be a little bit more comfortable this evening, away from the wind and the chill of Dante's view.
Yeah, I think so.
So Harmony Borax Works is a spot we love. I know I've shared it on the blog before. And there's kind of a famous view for night photography with the
20 mule team wagon.
the wagon, yeah, which is really beautiful. But if you take the side road down beneath, there are actually old ruins of where the workers used to live. And I think we're gonna set up there, and we've never shot it, so we'll see. But I think it's gonna be fun. It'll be an adventure either way, yeah?
Yeah.
It's getting late, I'm getting tired, more caffeine, and let's get to taking some pictures. Nate and I have visited Harmony Borax Works here in Death Valley many times, but we've never enjoyed astrophotography or shooting the stars here, and I think we're pretty happy with what we captured. It's just after midnight. We have had a wonderful time, but we think we're gonna head back to our campsite, sleep in our car for a few hours before heading out to shoot somewhere else. We're really bundled up, but where do we make it now?
We are in Badwater Basin.
That's right, so shooting a little bit more of the night sky, but we really wanted to get here for sunrise, and we definitely made it. It's pitch black, and we'll see if we can shoot anything, yeah?
Yeah.
Brr. Originally, we were really hoping to capture the first Milky Way of the season here, but it was just too low behind the mountains. However, the night sky was still extraordinary. And before we knew it, the pitch black skies started to brighten up. Nate found a shot he wants, so of course he's running for it. Because the sun will be rising pretty soon. When I first started photographing, I thought sunrise meant capturing the sun itself, but some of my favorite moments are when the colors light up the sky before the sun ever reveals itself in the morning. The sun is just about to rise. It's no longer dark here at Badwater Basin. It was beautiful with the stars, but I think it's just as beautiful this morning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although
Skies.
Pink skies after a long, brisk evening.
Yep.
Check it out. Nate's always busy searching for the right shot. I love the snow-capped mountains, but I also find it so amazing how these salt flats beneath our feet absolutely look like snow. What do you think? Does it look like salt or snow? The history of these salt formations goes back thousands and thousands of years, when Lake Manly once covered this area, stretching nearly 100 miles long, and it's believed 600 feet deep. However, the lake completely dried up long before the arrival of the pioneering 1849ers. The lake had no outlet, so when it evaporated, it left behind the concentrated salt deposits we see today. And those deposits do stretch out all the way to Devil's Golf Course. Just remember to come prepared if you're going to explore here. The temperatures fluctuate greatly and there's absolutely no shade. Now that the sun is up and you can see, we're in the middle of shooting a Badwater Basin blog post.
Yep.
And we got Dante's view last night.
We did.
And the stars. So for less than 24 hours so far in Death Valley, I'd say not too bad.
We're getting a lot done.
Yeah, at least for us. And here are some of the shots. Nate captures incredible pictures for the blog, and he's almost always the cameraman behind the scenes for the YouTube videos. Did you know that Badwater Basin is the lowest point in North America at 282 feet below sea level? These salt flats are really impressive. As we're heading back to the car, I thought this would kind of be a great time to talk to Nate. Normally he is behind the camera. He's filming the YouTube videos and taking all the pictures for the blog. So Nate, what kind of equipment are you using in particular when we're out shooting?
Well, I've got a Canon 5D Mark IV DSLR, which is fantastic. Right now, I've got a super wide-angle lens on here, which is great for places like Badwater when you really want to show off the whole landscape. We've also got telephoto lens, which is great for like zooming in from far away, like when you want to shoot like the Thule elk or mountain peaks or something like that. And then we have another lens that zooms in back and forth. It's a little bit more versatile.
Absolutely, yeah. And your backpack?
It is a Peak design backpack. It has a lot of fun compartments in it. It allows you to really customize it, which I really like. And I also have a Peak design tripod, which
you use all the time.
I use all the time.
I had to mention that because as a photographer, he is definitely, I think Canon and Peak are two of the brands that he really uses. This isn't sponsored at all. But if you're interested in the gear, I do have it linked on my website. I think in my Amazon shop, you can see a lot of what Nate uses. And then of course we have, you can see right here, the iPhone I'm holding. That's what we shoot a lot of the videos with. Unless it's like the Thule elk or something, we'll go to the Canon if we really need crisp video. Yep. But most of it is on the iPhone, and then I also have an Insta360 for when we're doing those night shots, just because I love the star lapses. But little taste into how we shoot. Yeah. It's almost been 24 hours, but we can't leave Death Valley without visiting a favorite spot. We did Badwater, we just got checked out of our campsite, and where's kind of our last stop before we leave the park?
Mesquite Flat Sand Dunes.
This was one of our first stops ever in Death Valley, and we just love returning here. Although it is a bit windy today.
It is.
A little bit, but it's beautiful.
Yep.
When the winds really whip up here, the sand starts to shimmer and really sparkle. Can you see the little pieces? The feldspar is kind of sparkling. It's always hard to say goodbye to a national park trip. Until next time, Death Valley. 24 hours ago, Nate and I were just leaving our house from Los Angeles to Death Valley for 24 hours.
Yep.
Was it a memorable 24 hours?
It was full.
And we are just getting ready to leave the park. The last stop, caffeine. For the drive home. So I know this isn't our regular content, but thank you so much for joining us this week for a little behind the scenes look at what goes into the blogs and YouTubes every week.
Yeah, thank you.
And we did capture, I think, some really fun content here in Death Valley. So we've got a couple of blogs and a couple of YouTube videos coming up. And I think maybe we'll have to add to the Etsy shop.
Yep, I think we'll do like a printable or a poster, something like that.
So check our Etsy page, Suddenly See, for maybe some new Death Valley content from this guy. Yeah. If you enjoyed this week's video, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps us out. That support means the world to us. And until next week, both Nate and I wish you adventure and encouragement wherever you go. Bye.
Bye.